What's going on, everybody? This is an episode from the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast. Do you like podcasts and you want to see the full podcast? Make sure you check out the No Gimmicks Needed Wrestling podcast on all your podcast platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, among many others. But you're listening to the episode right here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that like button and below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to NC Studios and NC Level Up for all your gaming needs. This is the Nerd Coalition. Enjoy the show. Bombshell happened, and I say bombshell because this is I've been going around here and telling myself this is the biggest scandals in wrestling, or this is the biggest thing since I'm like this. Honestly, for kind of wrestling and things that travel outside of wrestling, this is the biggest thing to me since Chris Benoit.
I saw more people comparing it to the steroid.
Yeah,
I think as far as how much trouble he's in, I think it's the biggest thing for that.
Yeah.
Like his because he actually had to step down, so it's like one of the biggest things to his career in that aspect.
He didn't even step down when the steroid thing happened.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay, so this is pretty big news, and then excuse me, when I heard
it's big news, but some of it don't make sense to me.
Oh, a lot of shit don't make a lot of like there's stuff. More stuff is still obviously coming out, but a lot of things is just like, first of all, it says Vince McMahon steps down as WCEO following hush money allegations. And first of all, when I first heard that, I was just like, all right, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was just in the wrestling world. When I saw it on ESPN. When I saw it on CNN, these are the different. Like, I watch CNN, I watch MSNBC, I watch, those are my new channels I usually watch, and then of course I watch my sports news on ESPN or on FX1. And when they all start reporting, I was like, oh, this shit is like serious, because I wasn't taking it that way. Because I was just like, well, what the hell is going on here? And I was just like, so. Apparently, from the information that the board has gathered, is that Mr. McMahon has allegedly had an affair with a woman. I don't know the woman's name. I don't want to put the woman's name out there, because I know some people leak the woman's name. That's messed up. Which is
that's
just so they can be
what the hush money was for.
Exactly, just to be asshole stuff like that. Well, apparently, she was working. Or the Wall Street Journal reported that McMahon paid a secret $3 million settlement to a former employee he allegedly had an affair with, and the separation agreement was reportedly made in January. Prevents the former unnamed employee from discussing her relationship with Mr. McMahon or disparaging him, according to the Journal.
When I saw the amount of money, immediately I thought, is there a kid involved here? Because why so much?
Well, I don't know, because there's some other reports that saying that she was given the money up front, and then $1 million up front, and then over the course of years, the other $2 million was supposed to flow in. I forgot what she was hired for.
She was a paralegal, apparently.
Paralegal, yeah.
And she moved up quite quickly, probably much to David Otunga's chagrin.
Yeah. Because she was started off like 100,000. They got to jump to 200,000.
See, I didn't see all of that.
Yeah, and now.
Yeah, when they started, that's when they changed it.
Yeah, now all this stuff could be it's like public knowledge, to the point where it's just like those races could have happened within the ramifications of, I guess, legally, is what I'm looking for.
You mean like they rolled it into like her salary?
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying. I don't necessarily know how all this stuff really will work and stuff like that.
They boosted her salary up from one to the other.
Yeah, you get a raise once a year most of the time, and it's not it's usually a percentage of your salary, not your whole salary doubled or tripled.
Well, according to this, their relationship was supposed to be consensual, and Vince's attorney, Jerry McDevitt, who is like Vince's literally Lord Jesus Christ in his hands because he gets him out. Prime.
Huh?
When you hear about Jerry McDevitt, the one who literally got Vince out of everything.
I mean, I don't know his name, but I know he's a good lawyer.
He's a damn good lawyer. His attorney, like I'm telling you, I don't know how he be doing. Like he's like the dream team rolled into one. Like the OJ Dream Team, you know what I'm saying? It's just like everything Vince has done from snooker all the way down, the steroid shit, all some of that. This man is just like, it's gone. I don't know. Even on Dark Side of the Ring, when he talked about the steroid, the steroid scandal, and they interviewed him, and he was just like, I guess everybody else can't just afford a good lawyer, or whatever the case comment he made. You know, so
I need a that event starts out of the ring gonna be like 4 hours long.
Huh?
That event starts out of the ring gonna be like 4 hours long.
Oh yeah, or 2 weeks long, probably should be. So this employee was released back in January, and approximately when the suspect goes on. Now people may say, well, isn't Vince married to Linda? On paper. They're married, but they've been separated for like 20 years.
But I say for legal reasons only.
Yeah. But other than that,
I don't think 20 years. I think it's been a few, but I don't think it's been 20.
I don't know if they've been living separately for that long, but they haven't been
20 years is 2002.
Real couple. I
still think yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably say maybe 20. Or something.
I would believe. It would not shock me.
I would believe 10 or so years, but yes, they are married on paper because separating assets is messy.
Yeah, especially when you want to keep the company within the McMahon name.
Exactly, because she will be entitled to all that. And who knows? He was rich when they got married. He had something to lose when they got married. It could be something in there that if they got divorced, like an infidelity clause or something, then she could wipe him out. So hell no, he not finna divorce that lady. They just finna wait out till one of them dies.
Well, apparently, whoever this woman was, after Vince was basically done, he passed on to Johnny Ace.
So was that what happened? Because I didn't know what exactly, like how this was working. I thought it was that he came up in some older scandals, but I wasn't sure about this particular one that was happening. So they both were with this woman.
That's what, according to certain things that I am reading, that's what it's looking like.
Ew.
Yeah.
I just have to say, ew.
And like there are obviously different channels and sites that are uploading like the timeline of events. of what's been going on over this kind of thing. But this, I was like, after reading this, I was like, this shit's kind of serious. But then it gets even weirder because Stephanie McMahon, who we didn't talk about last week's podcast, who they were kind of rolling around in the dirt after she kind of left, is now stepping up as the interim CEO of WWE
and chairperson.
And chairperson, while Vince steps down, while this whole investigation thing is going on.
I just knew they was gonna throw it on your boy
Nick Khan. You know, I didn't think so.
I
think this is all part of his. I really think this is all part of Vince McMahon's plan.
You think it's part of Vince's plan?
Look, call it, like I said, there's a lot of information that I don't know. And I don't know if it's going to be as lucky this time. I don't know. But, you know, this good old boys club always gets lucky. So it's just like... I'm kind of
a fan of the conspiracy that the board found out about this back in April, which means that Stephanie would have found out about this right before she left, and then she leaked it.
I didn't know.
Well,
we don't know if that's what really happened, but
this is a big investigation, and it's legal. So what they knew about it in April.
Mm-hmm.
That is about to come out. So that's probably why Stephanie left. Because they knew in April this story is about to come out in the next month or so. But they tell you beforehand. So she probably stepped down before it happened to get out of it or whatever. And then the news actually came out.
Yeah,
I think maybe it came out sooner than they anticipated.
That could happen too.
I think because everything seemed work out. I think Triple H almost died. Let's just be real, and
Mm-hmm.
she was going through a lot. So by her saying I'm taking time off for the family, but Triple H is going back to work,
Yeah.
and I was like, hey,
Everybody was trying to punch holes to the story when it happened.
yeah, and I was like, that's throwing me off. And then it was just like, okay, well, there got to be some kind of backstage stuff going on. It was already saying that she wasn't good at her job, and Vince already said Pat McAfee, be sure just because they're family don't mean they need to stay on board. If they can't do the job right, you gotta get rid of them. Because they got rid of Shane earlier, back in February or January, for a blow up that they had. And now we're here with Stephanie. But now here's the thing: Nick Khan has been weaning the McMahon name out of it because everybody was like, the rumor is that he wants to shape this company up and make billions for selling to Disney.
And
I don't
sell
think
it.
Nick Khan's a wrestling guy, okay?
No.
He's just a business guy. He wants to go out there and take this product and make it the most money. He probably wants to put it on the level of Marvel Studios.
I don't know. I just feel like I went through this with a job I had.
Yeah.
It was a company, like a small, started out of your garage startup type deal.
Yeah.
They got big, got an office, had several different branches.
Mm-hmm.
Brought this guy in, was not in the industry at all.
Yeah.
He just was here to run the company. A year after he comes, we get the news that they're selling it to a larger conglomerate, and none of our jobs are secure. So they're going to bring in customer service from the larger company. They're going to cherry pick the people they want from the old company, and everybody else will give you a severance package. And as soon as he came in and started changing things, because that's the same thing that this guy did.
Yeah.
He came in, he started changing stuff with the company. Things got real weird for a little minute, and then this is how we knew something was up. They was like, hey, we're going to have couple food trucks and some beer on the clock. I said, oh, we about to lose our jobs. We was right. But it was I feel like it's the same kind of thing. Come in, you start making changes, start, slowly forcing people out of positions that they've been in. Things start coming up. Because how many affairs and how much hush money do you think Vince McMahon has paid out over the years? This is probably affair 786. Okay, he don't care, but it is bad for optics.
Yes.
So I think that what's happening is there's a bunch of different cooks in the kitchen who all think they have the master plan, and what's happening is Nick Khan is in the back pulling the strings.
I would be
thinking
surprised
that he's doing something.
If Nick Khan leaked this.
Yeah, but I think he's in the back pulling the strings, thinking he's doing something, and then maybe Stephanie and Triple H over here thinking they doing something, maybe with Shane, and Vince McMahon meanwhile is just kicking back, waiting for all of it to play out, and everybody to crash and burn. Because that man ain't going nowhere. He will die in that chair.
Yeah. And that's kind of was like, see, look at that. But when I say he's also a genius, because so on Wall Street right now, the CEO and chair of WWE is Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
So you put your daughter out there. You got a woman the person that just stepped down, but all the heat. Nobody wants to be an owner of a burning house.
No.
So, but now all the heat that WWE is going to get and all the stuff that she's going to deal with, she's in the forefront. She got to take all that now.
Well,
yeah.
I think we have to talk about something real quick though.
Okay.
The only reason this is actually a scandal is because I believe he used WWE's money for hush money. That's why I believe the scandal comes in.
Oh, so it's like basically like stealing from your own charity kind of deal. Like when
Yes,
people,
because if he used his own money, then who cares?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's why I
So
said,
I
how
feel
much
like,
hush money do you think that they've? That's why, because if they were bumping it up in her salary
Yeah.
as the quote unquote hush money,
well,
then
that's not even included in the hush money. Though.
so I don't know.
No, it's just like no. As soon as they had a relationship, he just upped her pay because obviously they had a relationship.
If that's what happened, then yeah, it's
I
going to be a
like.
problem.
So I think the only reason, even though that is bad morally, the only reason why it's a big thing is because he probably used some of their money to pay it off, but not his own money.
It's
So
wild.
that's the wild part. And I heard some people saying, "Damn, is still getting up there at 70, whatever how old he is?" I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know how you doing it.
Look, bro. If she
And
slept
it
with
just
if
ended
she
in
slept with
January.
Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, she earned that $3 million.
She might not want to put her name out there because she don't get made fun of. I'm sorry.
Like I said, yeah, like there are certain places that have
Wrestling
leaked
fans are nuts, bro. They're gonna harass her.
They have leaked the name. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I want change. And is this going to be the change I want to get? Absolutely not. Because honestly, I think with Stephanie having that kind of power in there,
So, well, first of all, Stephanie don't have no power.
fair enough.
He's still He's still in charge of creative.
That's the thing.
So it's like, Bert, that was all. This is all the title on paper.
Yeah.
If he's
Paper CEO.
But say if he is not relinquishing creative control, nothing changes. Nothing stops
literally,
happening
the only
the way
thing
it's
that
happening.
changes is the name.
Yeah.
You really think Vince about to give up his office with a dinosaur in it for Stephanie? No.
No. Yeah, but she's got to be in the forefront to deal with all shit. I'm just saying because maybe, I
honestly,
think,
though,
I'm just saying, like, even though Vince is still in charge, with them investigating on the board and everything like that, there are going to have to be some moves made, for good PR. Let's be real about it. Well,
yeah,
I'm
but,
talking about
but
that, like John Norris, like he has to get fired.
For sure.
He's gonna get fired. But I don't know how like this is a Vince thing. Does that really make the whole company look bad because of something Vince did in that aspect? Just the investigation.
Kinda, yeah. It's gonna be a black stain. It's the same thing with Christian Wild. It was a black stain on the company for a couple of years before they was able to separate themselves from what he did to what they do. But in the rest of 2007, there was a black stain on WWE for a long time.
Yeah, because the whole nobody, technically nobody knew about it. So it's like it's a surprise to them, and now their names to get dragged into it, and they like we don't got nothing to do with this. But since we work here,
exactly,
we get dragged too. So it's like kind of.
I feel like because there are people who I have seen all over the internet and the wrestling person things I'm in that will probably say I'm crazy, but I truly do. I stand by my word that they are really seriously trying to sell. And I think that the only reason this is a problem is because they're trying to sell.
I think Nick Khan is trying to sell.
Well, yes. If it was any other time, because you got your two networks fighting and talking about how they want this star and that star, and they want we want to have of course they both want to get them ratings.
Yeah.
So it's just like you got that, and then let's be real, WWE Network on Peacock is big trash.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Big trash.
I can't stand it.
Okay. Just nobody.
I want to go back to the old network. Like you don't even know.
It's just like all these things happening. You got stars getting injured left and right, which is just the nature of the business. But you got disgruntled wrestlers.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of stuff happening that looks very unappealing to shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to really clean up the company and make it seem like, listen, this is something that you want to sell, you want to buy. Heck yeah, we're gonna have to flush out, because they know when you have issues with a company, it all comes down from the top. Whether they're directly responsible for it or not, what comes down from the top dictates what the culture is. So no, nobody's gonna want to be serious about this, even if you're not trying to sell the whole company, or you're trying to sell a percentage of the company, or you're trying to pitch yourself to a new network because USA and Fox ain't working. Whatever the case is, none of this is appealing. So you got to do something.
Yeah. And I think her order of business, even though in the PR, it looks like she's doing stuff, but John Laurinaitis is probably somebody that got to go.
He has to go. There's no way that there's no way he keeps his job in this.
Yeah.
And there was already murmurs that people weren't happy with him anyway, in the way that he was doing the job in the first place. Honestly, I kind of feel like all of this is, like you were saying, all of this is interconnected. I wonder how much he had to do with Sasha and Naomi getting so pissed that they decided to walk out. Because if what we're hearing, or we were hearing, is true, and they went and talked to Vince, and Vince was like, okay, I understand what you're saying, and then another staff member who they never really outright said who it was just like, quit your whining and go do your job. We don't care. Come on. I mean, it's not a stretch to believe that could have been John Laurinaitis. If you having this many problems and you're creating or perpetuating an issue that we were already having with Sasha and Naomi walking out, and that being a whole big story, and then now you come up in this story with the hush money, bruh. I hope you cleaned out your office already, and hope they don't send you your shit in a trash bag. Cause come on, resign, leave. I can't.
That's what she should do.
I can't even say, because that's usually what happens. They come in and say, well, we're going to force you to resign, or we're going to fire you. So pick your poison.
With the state that's going on with him right now, let me ask both of y'all, do you really think it's a possibility that he can get convicted from this stuff?
No. He'll get off. I think he'll get off legally. But I think that they're going to... I think the worst that will happen is they're going to take the CEO title and chairman of the board title permanently. And it'll go to somebody else, but he'll still just be around.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll he'll go to jail or anything.
I mean, but God, sometimes I just want WWE to get a swift kick in the balls and a wake up call, and get the WWE, get about this whole good old boys mentality and try to bring it something different. So, the biggest thing that we gotta remember about this whole Vince McMahon thing, because it's a possibility that within a couple months he gonna be in the same position that he was already in before. There's no guarantee that this scandal is going to take Vince McMahon down, but however, there is no guarantee that he is immune from it either. It is depending on what the fuck what NRDs or NDRs that they find, and how much is it, or if there's more women or whatever the case would be. Like, once you start doing some digging, you start getting into some closets. But it's just not, because me being selfish and biased inside, me and you, no matter who wants to admit it or not, we're wrestling fans. And most of our wrestling love came from WWE, WWF, whatever case may be. And right now, it's being held by a tone-deaf guy. part of the good old boys club. Time, it's time to move past that because the world is changing. He's refusing to change. I would love to see some different change happen in WWE. I mean, like legit, actual change. Because there have been some times where I was just like, WWE needs to fall on their ass so hard to the point like it needs some major ass change. And there are some instances that this happen, and they just find their way to get out of that shit. And to be real with you, it's like Vince is saying still keeping his creative position. So something he's still going to be the man in charge. He's still going to get.
So that makes no sense.
What you say?
It makes no sense.
Well, it doesn't make sense at all, and I'm just saying because obviously, which makes sense, Stephanie, the paper CEO. So obviously, there's not going to be any kind of change, and then basically we on SmackDown, we got a big ass fuck you.
I'm still in charge.
I mean,
basically.
That's what the whole thing was. The whole thing, the man came out, and first of all, to all the dick lickers out there, okay, even when I went to Raw with my home, I remember when this is like our first Raw, and Vince came. This was the Raw December 15th or December 9th, 2015. This is the Raw where Roman Reigns beat Sheamus for the championship. And it was in Philly, and everybody could cheer Roman.
Is that when Vince was the ref?
That's when Vince was on the sideline.
Oh, okay. I thought, so he wasn't. One of them, I remember he was the referee.
Yeah, no. This one he was on the sideline, just watching the matchup. And remember, this was the whole Sheamus 515 thing going on. So when Vince came out, my homie, I'm not gonna say no names, was sitting there doing the damn bow to Vince McMahon shit. And I was the only one up there like, yo, man, y'all got to stop bowing to this motherfucker. Stop stroking this man's ego. And what happened on SmackDown? He comes out, and these assholes...
I think they just doing it to be funny. Because ain't no way after, or they obviously know what happened because they're there in the front row. You don't buy no tickets in the front row if you ain't following.
Obviously. Or you got some people, there's just some rich and spoiled motherfuckers that can just can afford to get in the front row, or have a friend that can get you in the front row. Whatever the case may be, I'm not saying all of them up there, but you got, because it sounded like he had a smattering of booze, but still it was outplayed by cheering, everybody sucking his dick.
There was piped in.
Huh?
Some of them were piped in cheers too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, because it's like, y'all, because this man has been giving you shit, like literal shit, for the past 6 years. And it's just like, yo, man, the show got to get better.
That's all, just 6.
I know, and he got to stroke his ego. Comes out there and talks about, welcome to SmackDown, and as you see in the time that we are, then, now, and forever. Oh, and let's add together.
I like how somebody on Twitter said, "Why you sit together like we all did this together?" That's G1 Boronitis. That ain't nothing.
It ain't got nothing to do with us. And then he says thank you and tosses the mic. No chance. And walked out. And I'm just like, yo, Vince got what he wanted. He did it. All this was to mark the rating, to bump the rating on SmackDown. It worked.
Did it really bump?
It bumped up. Because people was actually, let's be real. And I'm not going to say, because I know everybody wants to sit there and act like, they can't get got. When this announcement really happened, when Jack Tapper was playing Dave Meltzer on CNN, I was just like, oh, this shit's like, really? He's like, we've been keeping tabs. He's like, this, sure you have. So, I watched Jack Tapper, and I'm just like, wait a minute. And they was talking about it, breaking news that he was going to be on SmackDown. I really thought, for a glimmer, that he was actually going to address, not like, obviously, and say I was wrong, I'm sorry, but like, you might heard some shit about me. Well, blah, 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 blah. I'm taking a step down. I'll see you when I see. Whatever the case, I thought it was like, I'm going to go out here and try to be, and say something. And then
what I initially thought? I thought since they know Stephanie was CEO, I thought he was just gonna come out and say, you know what, Stephanie is the CEO. Or I thought they were gonna do the same storyline as when Triple H fired him. I don't know if you remember that.
I think so. Was it like?
But I thought they were gonna do the same
That was
thing.
the authority thing, right?
That was before the authority. Like
Okay.
in 2012. But I thought like Stephanie was gonna come out and be like, you know, the board of directors have appointed me the new, you know, CEO and chairwoman. And you know what, Vince, Dad, you're fine. I thought she was gonna do something like that.
Yeah, I thought, but I was like, but when it came into this, a self-gloating, kiss my ass because nothing can happen to me in my WWE universe, and that's how he likes it. And he got what he wanted, and it boosted that first hour rating between an 18 to 49 demo. He boosted the rating because the rest of the show, other than Matt Riddle and Roman Reigns, sucked. Nothing was of note for the rest of SmackDown. Even the Vince thing wasn't even of note of SmackDown until we got to the main event. Until then, it shows you that Vince, it just gave the whole audience another big fuck you because he's still doing. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns is this generation's Cena and Orton.
You know what's funny though?
What?
Before like this was like probably the night after Hell in a Cell. Maybe the night of Hell in a Cell. I seen a tweet and it was like, I think I seen it tweet. It was like Baron Corbin where he was getting on his knees pleading. And the caption was Cody's injured, Roman's gone. This would be in front of Brock Lesnar's farm, getting on both his knees, pleading to Brock to come back.
And he did. Man. He comes back to do it again. But here's the thing, though. Out of all stuff being funny, it shows you how tone deaf he is because what the hell? You don't know what you're doing with AJ Styles. Bobby Lashley's on Raw, and then you just turn Edge babyface, and I'm like, you have built nothing up. You released half your roster, and you have built nobody up in time, and y'all just throw Brock and Roman at us. Look, Brock, I'm sorry. Brock and Roman have done all what Brock and Roman can do. This is really this generation's Cena and Orton. They did it to death. Remember when they had the TLC unification match between Cena and Orton? I was like, if I ever see Cena and Orton touch again, it'll be too soon. They have not touched since then. Thank God.
Yes, they have. They have indeed.
Oh God, I'm trying.
But it wasn't like a big marquee thing. It was like they fought when Orton was tag champ.
Oh,
with Bray Wyatt. It was like the Wyatt family, I think, versus Cena.
Oh, that okay, yeah. Well, I'm saying, but mostly of that feud, I was so sick of Cena.
But yeah, okay. The other times I faced haven't been feuds, it's just been like one-offs, like on SmackDown or Raw or whatever. It hasn't been like no feuds. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, so I got so sick of Cena and Orton. That's what this is.
Yeah. Also,
and they don't change nothing.
I like Brock, and but like I think they could have did Well, I'm kind of tired of seeing Drew and Roman too a little bit, but like they haven't did Roman and yes, they had did Roman and Bobby, but we haven't seen this Bobby fight Roman.
No, I'm saying, but no, we have not seen the Tribal Chief Roman versus the Almighty Bobby Lashley. We have not seen these versions of these characters. Like we seen we seen Roman and Bobby. What was it?
Before he was Tribal Chief.
Yeah,
actually, he did fight him as Tribal Chief, but it wasn't like straight.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I mean, this is back when Bobby still was wearing a fucking headband.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? No, like they have evolved since then. We have not seen AJ and Roman since 2016.
Yeah.
So
they haven't built him up, and I'm be honest with you, AJ's not believable right now.
He's not, but because they had him lose fucking 3 times in a row to this damn judgment day that they already changed, that we didn't get a chance to talk about with them leaving. So obviously this is a big ass thing that shows that Vince is still at the helm of this bullshit, and that ain't nothing like this is really going to change. So depending on what the boards find out, because there's so many scenarios. Johnny Ace undone but lost his job, but then how can you say like Johnny Ace loses his job but Vince don't? Because it's going to start asking more kind of questions, even though he's going to be the fall guy in all this. You never know what they can possibly find, but the way he's strutting around, the way Vince McMahon is acting right now, is like, bro, I won this already. They have nothing on me. I have Jeremy Piven. I have the get out of jail free card. There's no way I'm going to lose it. So Stephanie can take over for a couple of months, and once it finishes the investigation, and then I'll be back as CEO of this kind of bullshit. My question is, somebody got tired of his shit enough that they had to leak it, because he's on the board. Who holds the most shares on the board? So it's like, what, you gonna fire yourself?
I think I heard it was like a friend of the victim.
Say what?
I heard it was a friend of the victim.
It could have been, or I'm just like, could it have been Nick Khan? Could it have been Triple H? Could it have been his own daughter? I mean, we will probably never know. But I'm just saying, but right now, Vince's shit has really, like, to the point where it has gotten so old and so outdated. Like, Triple H damn near had a heart attack. If he gonna sit there and just say that shit happened out the blue, that's fucking bullshit. After everything that's going on now, where you try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and then more and more shit keeps coming out, you've had injuries, you've had over 80 firings, you've had top stars walk out on you, you have had family dispute, you have literally gutted and changed all of NXT. Your son-in-law damn near died. Your daughter wants to take time away for her family. My fingers are up, and then y'all kind of like bury her in the media tell about how she can't do her job. Then you bring her back as CEO. There is something truly bad going on in WWE right now, and we're not going to know really anything of it. Like, like the real nitty gritty about stuff that's going on. But there's all this shit happening. It's not even July yet. We're halfway through the year. It hasn't been, everything I just mentioned, it has not even been a full year yet. There are issues, big ass issues with how things are run back there with Vince and Bruce Pritchard and Johnny Ace. That whole good old boys club back there, there's a way that's being run that fans are just not, they're not dealing with it no more. The wrestlers can't deal with it no more. Look, Sasha and Naomi, look, now you sit there and you wonder, after they ran up through the mud, that they probably felt as though like, yo, it's so much worth it to walk out now to deal with this shit. And now with Roman, when it was just like, yo, man, I really think he could be interested. This man, the man is like, I'm just going to take time to be with my kids, to be a family man. This shit ain't forever. Y'all put the belts on me. And now we got to get for like literally the 36th time Brock Lesnar and Roman, and they finally want to change to a last man standing match. I'm like, it's so null and void that the difference between Cena and Orton and Lesnar and Reigns is that at least Cena and Orton tried to change up the format.
So you know what they can do?
What can they do?
They can have the Money in the Bank winner cash in after the last man standing match.
I mean, yeah, but you're still kind of repeating, because if the odds-on favorite right now is, say, Seth Rollins, it's WrestleMania 31 all over again.
I mean, I would rather see a longer Roman, and we only got one Roman and Seth match. I would rather see more of that.
It's not going to be. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be that when Drew McIntyre already challenged Roman at the Castle.
Well, I mean, he challenged for the championship. So.
No, because I'm saying, look, they booked themselves into a hole. He came out there and called his shot, saying he wants Roman. They know they want to do the McIntyre and Roman thing. So it's either going to be this. You're either going to split them championships, give Seth the WWE championship, and then leave Roman with the Universal, and then you do Roman and Drew at the Castle, and then you have Cody come back and take that championship off Rollins. Because that's what that story's leading to in the first place. He's only back for that WWE championship. The championship his dad never won. That's the whole story. Is right then and there. So if you give it to Seth and he wins it, you keep him champion to Mania. I mean, fuck it. Do it a fourth time. Because they obviously don't give a shit about doing shit over and over and over and over and over again. So if people are really expecting like real change, people, it's not going to happen right now. And like I said, we don't know what allegations are going to come up, or whatever the case may be in the next couple of days or months, or whatever the case may be. But he still at the helm of this shit, and we're going to keep getting this terrible booking and this terrible shit because we don't even like watching it no more. Am I lying?
Not being stopped.
Say what?
Stop being stopped.
Yeah, I catch the YouTube clips now. Like I said, I actually turned to Smackdown this past Friday, see Vince do that bullshit, and then I saw the Roman and Riddle good main event. I don't understand this fucking dancing shaky shit. I was like, why is this a thing? You know, Corbin and Madcap again. I'm like, why? I'm over it. There's no tag team, so we're going to do Usos and Street Profits until the cows come home. Yep. There's nothing to do. But Natty and Ronda, are you kidding me? Nobody, even in Natalia's family, think that Natty being Ronda. She's a body.
I'll be honest with you. Ronda needs to probably...
Your microphone's going now. I couldn't hear.
Ronda need to just go away or something.
Ronda don't need to go away. Ronda needs a mouthpiece. Ronda needs what Brock had in Paul Heyman. She needs somebody to talk to her.
Is somebody talking to her going to make her care? Because it just seems like she checked out completely.
I mean, like I said, I would probably check out the morale backstage. Gotta be shit. I don't care what people say. Or it's called. Let me be a company person and let me keep my job. Because let's be real with you. I would do the same thing. But it got to be shit backstage.
Well, I'm going to just say I don't think Ronda Rousey needs to be paid by WWE to keep her job. So.
No, if Ronda wanted to walk out and say, you know what, fuck, I'm done with this. But that's on them. For them to have that kind of morale where you have your top stars or your most popular women stars walking out of the company, and you have other stars just like I'm done with this. That is not a good showing of morale backstage, and you need that in a job.